Hey everybody! Welcome to the All-Star MIKEroaggress'd. I can't even speak, I'm so excited. I'm just like going into fluent alphabet person. The MIKEroaggress'd squad stream. I'm so excited. Sorry for the delay. We're kind of like all in different time zones, but this is the All-Star squad right here. So I'm very excited. Thank you guys for being here.
Mikey, I want to watch whatever sitcom that is that you just advertised.
That was so great. I was like, where did you get all this footage? And then of me like spinning around on the floor. Well, Brandon's out.
The FBI is coming back.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
How are you guys? So everybody welcome Brandon, wherever he may be, Keri, Kieran, and I can't believe this is your first time on my channel, Chrissie Mayr.
I can't believe it. It feels like I've been here the whole time.
Ooh, he's back.
Okay.
We thought the FBI got you.
I had no sound.
Oh.
And because I'm a professional, I tried to just roll with it.
You're like, I don't need to hear. What's the big deal with hearing?
I was going to do the entire show with no sound, but then I was like, it's going to be better if there's sound. So I came out and came back.
Yeah.
Have we got to get someone down in the corner doing all of this for you?
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Mikey, can we get your mum?
Anyway, I have to say to all our friends, hi to all our friends in the chat. Whether you're new here or otherwise, we're on Rumble this time too. I don't really know how to Rumble. I'm figuring out. I don't really have Rumble game yet, but I'm figuring it out. Also, big thank you to Chris, who is basically like the mascot and publicist of this channel at this point. So I appreciate it. Anyway, send us your super chats. Help me be a better grifter. I'm an aspiring grifter. Help me become my destiny. So anything happening? And is anything happening in the news? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
It's pretty quiet from last time I checked.
You know, yeah, nothing crazy.
No.
We picked a hell of a night.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. It's like the apocalypse is coming. I don't know where to begin. There's so much crazy shit happening.
Well,
It's
what were you
so
telling
crazy.
us beforehand about the press secretary was saying? I hadn't heard that story.
Well, so first of all, there's the what did you call it, Brandon? The transurrection?
Transurrection.
I love that.
Deadly transurrection.
They wish.
Very deadly transurrection.
I feel like we're kind of burying the lead.
I always thought a transurrection was what you got if you were attracted to Blair White.
Is that what I call it?
That is what you call it.
I feel like we're kind of burying the lead, though, if we don't talk about Trump.
Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit with Aiden Paladin, and we came to the conclusion that this is just news porn for the left. And I mean, who knows? Maybe this is me, sounding like a sore loser, but I don't know. I think this is only going to help him. And I can see by my my Trump emails that are already coming in, like he's already got several fundraisers going. He's got a I support Trump shirt 330 2023 going. Like, he's already merchandising this thing, and if there ultimately are mugshots of him, I think he'll turn that into merch as well, which I will happily buy.
Yeah.
I had a shirt that I got a while ago with his face that said "Miss Me Yet," and I'm kind of like, give me the chance.
Yeah.
Give me the chance. I would like to miss you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
What if we did a shirt with his mugshot and my mugshot that says all the best people get indicted?
Ooh.
Like that. By the way, was this always a thing that people got indicted for misdemeanors? I thought a misdemeanor was like you do community service.
Upped it to a felony so they could do it, because I think they had past the time for a misdemeanor, so they had to up it to a felony. The what's it called? The statute of limitations or something?
Yeah.
So can I just say, I missed this news last week because it's not on any of the channels, of course. It's not on the mainstream news. But during this Project Veritas lawsuit that's happening, it was revealed this past week that Ashley Biden, Joe Biden's daughter, confirmed that diary is hers, and she asked for it back. Like, they called her as part of the court transcripts. They submitted these documents that diary is hers. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, if that were Trump and we just found out that, oh yeah, that diary that said my dad used to shower with me inappropriately was mine. Like that would be, that would be the end of him. That would be the end of him. I only bring it up because if you look at that story, which they're completely ignoring, and then you've got this where it's like, oh, we're indicting him for maybe paying off this woman that he had consensual. It's like,
Right, but I mean, but even the statement that's floating around that I think has come up from 2018 from Stormy Daniels was where she, basically said that actually nothing happened. But to the point with the diary, I mean, it's like the Hunter Biden laptop. By virtue of him suing for it, is an admission that it is his. And I think the whole thing, it's like when Mikey said, what should we focus on? I think the question is, what distractions should we start with first? Because ultimately, with the Trump thing, the story is the story. And that's kind of, it's the power of the optics. And it just plays to, again, the left get off over it. And that's really what it's aimed at. Trump's going to come off better off with this because it's not really going to go very far, but it's going to do very well for him. But
I'm guessing you have thoughts, Brandon?
About what specifically?
The indictment, the whole thing. The arrest, the misdemeanor, the hooker, or the porn star, all of it.
Well, I just think so. I mean, I think the timing of everything is very curious. Like, I think it's very weird that they said that they were going to delay for a month and that the grand jury was taking a break for 30 days. And then all of a sudden they do this on the same day as the transurrection. And so it kind of puts me in this weird, like, what came first, chicken egg situation where I'm like, did they plan the transurrection to try to distract us from the indictment, or did they try to distract from the transurrection by saying, let's indict today? Like, I don't really know what we're distracted, or maybe I don't know, maybe we're just throwing everything in the same, I don't know. But I think the timing is very weird. Why did they say they were going to delay for a month, take a break for a month, and all of a sudden, just like days later, they go get it? Why?
Well, and also, let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like their loophole with the statute of limitations was they said because he's in a different state, but they're arresting him in a different state.
Well, I think it's where they're charging him is where the statute of limitations apply. I don't think it, I don't know. I'm not legal minded, but I think that's usually what happens with those things.
Well, is he trying to distract from the Restrict Act at all? Again, it's like
they got plenty of options to distract from.
I haven't had a chance to read into it, but it's apparently pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
The Restrict Act. I don't know anything much about it yet. You guys,
it's basically a Trojan horse into a Patriot Act 2.0 where they can if they deem, let's say you post on a Chinese app something about an election being fortified, right? They can deem you to be, well, you're on a Chinese app or a Russian app. We can deem you to be some kind of security breach or something like that, and they can, who knows, put you away for it. Or I think it also includes VPNs, that you can't use a VPN, that they have access to your Ring camera, apps like Rumble, basically any app with over 1 million users, it gives them control over.
I haven't read over it in its entirety. I need to get that done today, but from what I understand, I mean, I loathe TikTok. You'd never see me on it just because I know, how that sausage is made. And
when they don't cut it off.
Right. But the thing is with that is, it's under the guise of, well, we don't want an app that's created by the PLA with all Americans' data on it. Okay, fair enough. But effectively what the US is trying to do is to emulate China by creating their own great firewall. And what they have said is, so basically it's a smokescreen for going, okay, it's not a case that we don't want China having Americans' data, it's that they want total control over Americans' data. So it's like, we don't want to dilute it, we want control over it. And in the wording of that, like Chrissie said with the VPN thing, I think the wording is any attempt to kind of circumvent that thing would potentially, I think, fact check me on this, but I think it was like $1 million fine and up to 20 years in jail.
Yeah.
Which would include VPNs.
Wait, I just have to say, we have a very important person here. Chrissie Mayr's boobs has made it to
Wow. I mean, I knew they were here. I just didn't know if they would be actively listening, and clearly they are.
Does this count as having 4 boobs?
Yeah, true. Plus, if we count my fiance, that's 5. Yeah, wow, it's good to see you, boobs. Hello. They're always there.
Brandon, remember there used to be, I think, an account of your eyebrows?
Yeah,
and there's an account of my nipples.
Yeah. No, there still is.
Wow.
And then there's, I mean, there's all, I don't know if there are plenty of accounts out there that are dedicated to talking about how ugly I am. That's like, no.
That's wild. That's
Oh
like,
my
that's
God.
how you know you truly are good looking. Like if when you see the opposite.
Oh, I
Do
mean,
you-
there are whole accounts out there that have studied every square inch of my face and know like the exact.
Honestly, that's such
my
a
forehead.
gay thing to do. Like that's such a petty, shitty gay move.
You know they're gays behind that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no.
Because even 14-year-old girls are like too mature to
Yeah.
do that, but not 56-year-old gay men. No.
Wow.
So I'm
I was
just
gonna
taking
say
notes.
your haircut-
Does this mean you've made it? Just, you know, I'm just asking.
I don't know. I
was
feel
gonna say-
like my life and my career are kind of like a roller coaster at this point. So like some days I've made it, some days I'm like out turning tricks again, and then I'm back on the news. I don't know. Hey Mikey, have we moved out of the Trump zone? Like
No, we were like getting into it. Tell me, thoughts.
Oh, I was wondering if it was an appropriate time for me to make fun of you.
Oh, please. Oh, it's always the right time. What now? I wore a nicer outfit for you this time. What now?
Yeah, well, yeah, I appreciate that your outfit is less dominatrixy, but can we talk about your filter? For the person
What filter? I don't have a filter.
you're this close.
Yeah,
to
it looks
looking
like we're all
that
having a dream. Like you're in a
anime
dream right
character.
now.
Yeah.
I do not have a filter. I put a shit ton of makeup on. I thank you if I'm that good at. What?
You barely look like a person.
Aw.
And this from the person who's always making fun of the Linda Evans filter.
No, I want the Linda Evans filter. I want the Keri Lake filter. Oh wait, there might be a small filter on here. I didn't think it did anything. Wait. Okay, wait. I'm turning it off. Let me know if I'm gonna look like
Okay,
horrible.
so, oh God!
It doesn't do anything. I don't know.
Put it back on. Put it back on.
Hey Mikey, if the Restrict Act comes in, you're not going to be able to use any of these apps. So
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I download
Better
them.
get them now.
Yeah.
We have also, by the way, hi to our beautiful WalkAway, Therese. We have a super chat. Thank you so much, Giorgio 400. Send us your super chats, by the way. I need to be a better grifter. New motto for gay peeps: don't get sucked into gender ideology. Just do the thing.
Hey,
Which
Mikey.
fun.
Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Did you say there are filters on here that we can play with?
No, it's on my camera app.
Oh.
If he had the app, his eyebrows would be on the back of his head.
Who, me?
Then you'll really have
I would
Brandon
be so
Stark's
happy.
eyebrows. Poetry painter, our beautiful poetry painter. I just wanted to say that the transes called off the day of vengeance, claiming there was too
shame.
much chance for
Oh,
violence.
they called it off?
No,
I
they,
wanted to go.
You know what it is? I think it's because they realized they said it for April Fool's Day, and they're like, "Oh shit,
Mm.
we
They
gotta
should
be
set their lives for April Fool's Day.
Nah.
Did you see
I
the
really-
headline that says Joe Biden says transgender people, quote, shape our nation's soul?
Oh yeah.
No, your shit. Is that the
I
onion?
think you meant shape our nation's whole.
Is it the
Only if
onion?
you got a good surgeon.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's for the Transgender Day of Visibility.
Yes,
How many
I
days
saw
do you
that.
need?
Wow.
It
Isn't
just
that-
made me
Is this
think
where
of
they all just appear?
Independence.
But it makes me think of that. What is that? It's a comedy clip from a movie where the guy says like, Filipino little people who are tilt-a-whirl operators are the very backbone of our nation. What is that? It's a comedy movie, but that's what he's doing. He's doing the same thing. Filipino tilt-a-whirl operators are the backbone of our society.
Well,
Like super specific.
Well, did you hear about the press secretary was talking about the shooting, and she was like, "We have to talk about." I'm exaggerating a little bit, but she's like, basically, like, we have to talk about what really matters: the transes. The transes are under attack.
Did she say transes?
No, I'm saying I'm taking artistic liberty, but no, but she just made it all about them. It's always.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Because I feel like all of us here, or I think our views are a little bit different than what I'm seeing sort of the consensus of our people on Twitter to be at the moment, that I feel like we've kind of all always been pretty supportive of actual transgender people. And I really think at this point, most people, it seems like, have just had it and just want nothing to do, which we all knew would happen.
It seems like they're really trying to intentionally trigger the right and make them, much like January 6th, make people very aggressive and violent towards trans people. I think that's the jig right now that they want to make happen. The way they wanted to with January 6th, make it look like ordinary people were more aggressive and violent than they actually were. I think they're just trying to like goad people into being like, yeah, get the trans. They're saying they're being genocided, and at the same time they're trying to trans your kids. What do you think about that? You think they should have guns?
It's just Oh, sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, I think they were hoping that this whole Trump indictment would absolutely foment just absolute vitriol on the right. Then with the shooting that happened in Nashville, and with this, I'm going to call it a transgression. With that, I think they were hoping that they were going to just, as James Lindsay calls it, drag Floyd. I think they were trying to create that on some kind of, in their head, like some genocidal level. But, unfortunately it was cancelled, so maybe check your diaries and they'll reschedule for next week. But yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like you never know, and you just don't know how many layers of tinfoil to put on your head. But at the same time, it all makes sense as well. So, yeah.
There's a false meme going around, which I think it goes to this point, that some troll, I guess, created, but it's of a transgender MMA fighter, Alana McLaughlin, who is male to female. He's one of the transgender women who competes against women and is beating them silly. But in this meme, it's a picture of Alana holding a rifle, and there's a big trans flag in the background, and it says something like, basically it says kill all Christians. It's a long paragraph, but it's like kill all Christians. And people are sending it around saying somebody posted it for this Trans Day of Vengeance, and they didn't. Like, somebody made this fake meme. That's not something that Alana McLaughlin put out. That's not, that picture is from, her Instagram from a long time ago. It's like, but I think people want to see that rage, and it works. When I first saw that picture, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was getting angry. It works. And then how much does that kind of stuff get spread? And you pair that with the stuff that's actually happened, like the shooting, and I think temperatures are boiling.
I find it.
You can't tell satire from reality with it at this point. I mean, did you guys see the die-in that they had?
Yes.
Another one?
Did you see that
left at this point?
No.
Oh yeah.
They they had, what was it, Wisconsin, I think. They went to all the transes went to the state capitol, and half of them aren't even, like, that's the thing, most of these people aren't even trans or anything, but it's like bearded, burly men, and they all laid down and had a die-in. And I counted the number of people in the picture. There were literally more dead people in this picture than trans people are murdered each year.
Wow.
Yeah.
More people get struck by lightning each year.
They're trying to fake it till they make it.
Maybe that's how they're inflating the stats, these die-ins.
Right.
They also died of COVID while they were doing the die-ins as well.
Yeah. Just like all of us. By the way, Sadie, thank you so much for the super chat. Deranged Lunatic, I thought that was me. Thank you so much. Chrissie and Keri really close up the joint. I thought that meant you wanted them close up, like Chrissie Mayr's boobs.
Sure, we can, I wore a V-neck. I did my part. Unlike some
You know-
people.
Our beloved, I'm a past my mentor for this. Thank you. The icon. You gotta come on the
it
squad.
took me a second.
Tracy Barkley. Yeah, everything is just so. I feel like it's getting crazier and crazier.
You know the thing that really, and again, I have to be sort of careful with this because I know that I'm, fortunate enough to be able to sort of, I know what I'm looking at, but people's media literacy is so low that as long as it's posted online by someone that they trust, and the thing that really annoys me is when people post like a big account will post like a screenshot of a news article, but won't post a link or won't do anything about that, and people cannot go and verify it, and then it just spreads like wildfire. And it takes 2 seconds to do a Google image reverse search to find out the first known time that was posted. And I think that's the thing. People unfortunately don't know how to do the most basic, and why should they be expected to? They should know that the information they get is correct, but unfortunately we live in the real world.
My dad called me like an hour ago, by the way, and said, "Oh, the Supreme Court is gonna overturn gay marriage. It's in the news. CNN said so." Could not find that anywhere in the news. I'm like, I make so much progress with him, and then he sits in front of CNN all day, and we're back at square one.
What did you reply back? Say, "It's okay, Dad, I'm not married."
Yeah.
Oh, he reminds me of that. Believe me. But what the hell did I want to say? Sorry, Keri, you were saying something.
Oh no, what Kieran was saying just was making me rethink just sharing a screenshot. Like sometimes I purposefully only do screenshots of headlines if I think it's a ridiculous article, like a CNN piece or something that's because I don't want to give them the click and it's not worth anybody reading it. But now you're making me rethink that. Like I should probably give them the link so they can go see it themselves instead of me telling them this is stupid.
But again, I think that's like that. But that's the thing, though. I mean, that's like something that and I'm also a hypocrite with this because I also do it sometimes as well. But there are people that will do it because they want to frame it in a certain way, and as soon as you give the link, then it also falls apart.
Yes, that
but
happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. It's I want to do a lot of around this and sort of do not to plug this early in, but what I'm launching with a crowdsourced podcast is that I want to kind of bring people in and sort of teach the average person how to do the most basic fact checking and stuff like that, and crowdsourced journalism in that sense. But yeah, it's just those simple skills that allows you to sort of vet what you're seeing in front of you. But
I want to ask you guys, by the way, not just here, but you guys in the chat, is it just me? Am I the only person who is really sick of Trump? Like, I feel like this is so wrong what's happened. I feel kind of split on this arrest. On the one side, if he weren't running again, I would be so 100% in his corner. We know we have a 2-tiered legal system. We know what's happening. This is just another example of it. I would have my MAGA hat on supporting him, but I'm just so over it with him running again. I just think it's the biggest mistake.
Well, I'm not tired of him. However, if DeSantis ends up running, I guess we'll wait and see because I don't know enough about him yet. But what I do know, I really like him, I think. So I don't think I'd be voting for Trump again. But I don't know. I don't have any kind of animosity towards him. I did see a weird clip when he was here in Texas, and it was from one of his rallies, and he was trying to insult DeSantis, and the audience didn't respond well at all. They didn't like it. Like they clearly sort of like, what are you doing? And that bothered me too. I'm like, why you gotta be taking shots at him? He's like, he's done a great job for Florida. All my friends in Florida are very happy with him as governor. So, but I think that's just who Trump is. So.
But it'd be interesting to see whether his team are receptive to that feedback and they change the messaging around that. But, I don't have any horses in the race with this. As a Brit, I can't vote. All I know is I focus my energy on the US because, as I've said to other people here, that, if the US is lost, then there ain't no hope for anybody. And, and so that's why I fight. Like, the UK is pretty much lost anyway. So, so that's that. But I think for me, it's not so much like Keri, I'm not not sick with Trump, but I'm sick of the Trump show. That's what I'm sick of, the circus that surrounds it.
I don't know. I kind of find it funny. Go ahead.
Oh, I like it, yeah. But...
Sorry, Brandon.
No, you're okay. No, I feel the opposite, Mikey, of what you said. I so fundamentally am bothered by injustice that I actually like him more right now. And I'm, because I've had my own feelings post January 6th about, things that could have been better. But now, I don't know, it's like we really are. I really appreciated that DeSantis came out and kind of got behind him and stood up for him and basically said, like, we're going to resist any attempts from Florida. We won't allow it to happen. And I thought to myself, that's actually exactly, I think, what we need right now. Like, I mean, even like Mike, you and I talk all the time about the conservative influencers.
Can you move closer, by the way? We hear you better when you're like closer.
Well,
it's cutting in and out.
I could eat my iPad.
Yes, eat it.
Ooh, baby.
It's from my face. I was saying.
This feels like day one of the pandemic. Our baby's first Zoom meeting.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
It's all right. I got you.
I was just saying that I think I think we all have to like band together right now, because I think that this is a war. We're at war, and we have to look, even when you don't like people, you have to get behind people at a time like this. Not saying that I don't like him, but I mean there are other people on our team that I don't like. And I think I'll work with anybody at this point, because the left cannot win anymore. They can't. This is horrible. It's only going to get worse.
That's my issue,
Brandon. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Brandon. It seems like they're trying to really be like, oh, do you still like Trump now? Do you still like Trump now? It feels like the left's kind of like testing us or whatever. But I agree. If they can do it to Trump, they can do it to anybody. And to me, it just feels like spiteful, shitty, unnecessary revenge for him even daring to run and win. This feels just like they're still so pissed that he won. Yes. And that's the only reason why they've dug and dug and dug to find something to be like, see, this is what you get for being an outsider and daring to step into the political arena, having not being part of our pre-screened establishment. They're just so fucking pissed at themselves that he snuck through and won.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it also shows as well that they cannot comprehend taking on the political right as a unified force. And so the only way they can do it is to fracture and fracture and fracture down into its kind of constituent tribes, whether it be, the Trump tribe or the DeSantis tribe and all of this stuff. That is the only way that the left, clearly by just looking at their game plan, they feel that they can do stuff, because then they can isolate the voters again and make them feel disillusioned. So yeah, I'm sick of the Trump circus, but at the end of the day, that's not a value judgment on whether it's Trump is the ringmaster of that circus or not. But I agree with Brandon that, yeah, now is the time to tighten ranks and become, the left have got a collective. We need to be a collective, but of individuals.
Ooh, well said. But my issue, though, is do you guys think he could win? That's my issue, is I feel he cannot win. That's my problem.
That's what the primaries are for. So let him run. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying online. I just became aware of this whole Trump DeSantis thing that seems like people are splitting into factions, and we haven't even started the primary season yet. I'm like, why does it have to become antagonizing? And I've seen people sort of going at each other about which person they're. Oh, you're standing with him. You're standing with him. It's like, why?
DeSantis hasn't even announced.
I know.
Yeah.
I would be happy with either of them as president. Better than a leftist.
As president, I would whichever of them is the nominee. That's who I'm voting for. But I just feel so strongly that we don't have 4 more years to give to the left. I feel like if we're lucky, we might be too far gone as it is, but we maybe get one more shot. And my question for him running again, for me to be so as dedicated to that cause as I was last time, is I keep asking people, what is the plan? What will be, if the election was stolen last time, what will be different this time with the same person?
Borrowed.
Fortified. Fortified. The election was fortified and the most secure election in history.
This
Yeah,
is
Trump
coming down.
lent it to them.
I just don't understand what would be different. And maybe that's the case with anybody running, but I feel like at least somebody else could maybe have a better strategy or team, or I don't know. I just wish Trump would be a little more strategic. Not that any of this justifies what's happening to him, though.
And it's whether it's the same Trump that's running, you know, in terms of messaging, and it's whether he's able to be receptive and, you know, adapt the messaging, you know, to sort of, it's like you were saying when he got the feedback and no one was really receptive to the whole DeSantis bashing, you know, whether he's going to be so headstrong that that's going to be the way he does it, or whether it's going to sort of, I don't know. It'll be it'll be fascinating to watch, but I think that some of the critiques raised here are just inherent with the blood sport that is politics. So that's kind of a separate standalone in a sense, but yeah, it's going to make for some blockbuster viewing.
I'm not ready for another election. It's too no. I don't. By the way, sorry, I forgot to get to my beloved Cody. Thanks so much, dude. I recently found this old lyric from an obscure song. The pendulum stops at extremes and just swings through the rest. I like that. Yeah, I just hope that people, regardless of whichever of them wins the primary, I just hope people vote for whichever of them wins it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Trump does have a strategy. You'd think he would have learned lessons from last time, you know, to completely retool who is close to him. No.
No, that would be a good idea.
It would be
Do
good.
I believe it has happened? No. I there's no indication that any lessons have been learned.
I love this comment, by the way. Thank Jennifer. I love you. Mikey and Brandon basically need to, I don't want to say that word in case it'll get me struck down, President Trump, and make him listen for the love. I know that's what frustrates me about him so much, because I really like him and it drives me insane.
Yep.
But I don't see any lessons that have been learned. Also, thank you so much, Kevin, for the super chat. He has the full support of the U.S. Filipino Card Union, Tilt-A-Whirl Local 152, and Teacup Local 72. That's what you're saying.
Tilt-A-Whirl. That's funny.
Somebody in the chat has to know what movie that's from.
I think somebody said The Campaign.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Thank you. Will Ferrell.
I'm sitting here thinking, shit, is that some like Marine squadron that I should know? And I'm like, oh, totally, the Tilt-A-Whirl 152. I was God bless them. Thank you for your service.
Hey, Mikey, how do I see the chat again?
You go to the right where it says comments.
It doesn't say that on my. Oh, I'm on my iPad this time. I was on my computer last time.
Oh. Maybe on your phone if you go to the YouTube.
Okay.
If your phone's separate, just turn the volume off on your phone. Thank you so much, Tracy. Maybe Biden will choke on his chalky chip ice cream before the election. I can't believe we're already at another election. I feel like we're just barely over the last one.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm all for it. I think I love election season. I love it when things get really intense and spicy and there's stuff going on. Like, plus, some of us are waiting to get off probation. And, and some of us are
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because he's like our Lindsay Lohan now.
Well, yeah, what else do we do? And some of us are hoping to be pardoned. So let's just get to it. Let's get there. Let's just get there.
I think he said he would, right?
He'll probably pardon everyone but me. But yeah, we'll see.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. The shaman was what? He had
Shaman is off. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Don't
shaman
you-
has
do you
been
know
released
him, Chrissy?
back into the wild. No, it's like my biggest regret of January 6th is that I didn't meet the QAnon shaman.
I don't know why I just like associate you guys together.
I've painted my face like that a couple times, and I owned a couple of horned. I did like the character a couple of times, but no, I didn't meet any of the main characters. Although I did. The podium guy.
The main character.
Obviously, you know, okay. I'm thinking, I mean, like people who were like, you know. Okay. All right, fine. I take that back. You're probably the main. But podium guy made this podium.
Ooh.
No, podium guy. I think his name is Adam Johnson. He made this for me. This is like real wood. It's like specifically. I don't know. I guess he's a carpenter, so he made me this. I'm surprised, Brandon. He should make you one if you don't have one already.
That would be really nice.
Did you guys happen to see each other that day or that trip?
No.
Day 6. So
No, it was a blur.
I first met Chrissy at a WalkAway event in DC. It was I think when we
I think it was the December one I saw you at. Yeah.
It was like right before that.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's not socially acceptable for people to admit how handsome they think Jacob Chansley is.
Oh, I will not. He's very cute, and I was comparing him to the trans shaman. Like he committed to the bit. It was the fucking coldest day ever in January in DC that day, and he wasn't even like carrying his coat. Like either someone was holding it or it was stuffed into his backpack. He's tearing around, no coat, shirtless, great bod. He had the look down. The
Yep.
horns, his paint didn't really smear too badly. Like he was in, again, great shape. I
Yep.
can't stress that enough. So cute, like cute in the face.
Yeah.
Like the perfect little mascot.
Great teeth, like
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Can you
Let's
put up
put
a
him in a movie.
picture of the trans shaman? Because he
Yes,
doesn't. He
let
looks
me
kind of like a
find.
clown compared
He
to the guy
looks
you just
so
described.
bad. He
I call-
doesn't know what he's wearing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I
We'll
call
find
him
the trick.
cute Tranon shaman.
What do you call him?
The cute Tranon. Tranon. It's not cute Tranon shaman.
Got it.
He's not.
I have to say,
A couple times. Roll.
Huge
Nick
Tranon.
Miles 2024, God forbid, he would have everyone washing steak before you cook it and all that. Who does that?
Hi, Nick Miles.
You're meant to just enjoy steak, not wash it.
Ugh.
Come on.
He was like, I cooked this big dinner for all of us in this house once. It was on election night, and Nick was like, "You don't wash the ingredient, like no, I don't mean vegetables. He's like, you don't wash chicken and steak before you cook it."
You did make a huge mess. Look. There were bread. You made. What did you make? Chicken parm.
Oh, I made chicken parm, eggplant parm, stuffed mushrooms, bruschetta, broccoli. Like, yeah, I did make this, but it came out good.
The whole kitchen floor was like a shuffleboard table. I mean, it was just.
But it was delicious, correct?
It was delicious, but we all had to our footprints were all over the house from all the sawdust.
And we were just dragging our feet from depression because it was election night.
Oh.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruben, for the super chat. Mike, so nice to see you again. Meet up in Orlando. I remember you. What a panel. Chrissie and Keri, who I've met. Lovely based ladies. Brandon and Kieran looking to learn more about you all. Hail. MIKEroaggress'd Squad stream #1. Cheers. I love you, Ruben.
Ruben's the best.
So, I was thinking how people say, and I know this ain't the case for some of you guys, but maybe this is just, I'm sure this will change at some point, but how people say Twitter is so nasty and the internet is so nasty and people are so nice to me. I'm still caught off guard by that. I'm sure it'll change. At some
Your chat is funny. Somebody in the chat said that we should call him, it's Shamam.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god.
Okay, he's saying you wash
Wow.
chicken. Do you guys wash chicken before you cook it?
Yeah, there's a real debate
pretty
over
sure-
what meats to wash in chat.
I'm pretty sure that's how you get salmonella, isn't it? Washing chicken. You meant to pat it down with like a kitchen towel or something
Washing
to
the
take the
chicken
moisture out.
sounds like slang
Thank
for
you, Tina.
like female masturbating.
Hey,
Like,
baby,
I'll
you
be
wanna
right
wash the
there. I'm
chicken
just washing
tonight?
my chicken. Yeah. Sorry, I can't. I'm washing the chicken, so to speak.
Ugh.
Hey, Brandon, what did you call the trans? Was it Trananon?
Q-Tranon.
That sounds like a
Start calling Shamika Shamam.
Q-Tranon sounds like a brand name of like a puberty blocker that hasn't come out yet.
God.
Can we combine them? Q-Tranon. Okay, Q-Tranon, Shamam.
Yeah,
Ma'am.
that's the high dose puberty blocker. It's like,
Oh my God.
It's
Stop
Shamam.
the movie in his tracks.
as he does his staff.
Don't give them ideas. They're gonna in a year you'll have to affirm this.
I've got this fan fiction in my head that like someone's child wants to transition. They're like, quick, call the the shaman round, the trans shaman round, and they're all hoo-ha-ha, hoo-ha-ha.
Oh, this is very exciting for Ruben. I'm all about love. Oh, I love you too, baby. I'll be working with the new James O'Keefe Media Group to do some real journalism. That's
Very
Wow. Nice. OMG.
Cody says it sounds like a spell you just summoned to TRA.
Yeah. He's knocking at the door.
Can I say it's just like it seems like these people don't realize how they're making everyone hate them, because all I see lately is like drop the T, LGBT no T.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. They love themselves.
Yeah, I get how they feel. I can't I feel bad for the people like Sarah Higdon or legitimate transsexual people who have to deal with this.
I don't know though. I mean, I think it's like, I think in general, it's just like people are getting like minority burnout, and I don't.
That's the hashtag for the.
That's actually the name of my favorite porn. A little ointment on there. Okay.
Maybe take some, just apply some Kutrin onto the area, and that rash should go away pretty quickly.
Bam.
Yeah.
This I find to be unbelievable. I don't believe you, Poacher Pin. It was sad to hear Buck Angel talk about how positive and supportive the trans community used to be.
Well, yeah, of course.
I don't buy it.
No, of course.
No,
Back
I'm
before
kidding.
before it became this.
Because you had to really fight for it. Like people like Buck, who like went through it a total different way than people.
And
are
it
going
wasn't
through
a part
it
of the
now.
ideology then.
Mm.
It really
Yeah.
was just individuals who were dealing with this or felt like they were born in the wrong body, and then it wasn't being forced down people's like kids' throats. I saw a video today from the Netherlands. Did you guys see
Yeah,
that?
I saw that. Yeah.
Some TV
Fucking
show
gross.
where they bring out adults and have them get naked, and then they bring out children, and so they had these adults
Did
get
you see this,
naked,
Brandon?
and yeah, they had them talk about their sex changes, and these little kids are like, they interview them afterwards, and they're like, at first it seems weird, but then it's like that's normal, and they're talking about I still have my
Yeah.
vulva, that's why I pack. I'm like, why does that 10-year-old need to know about packing?
Why do they need to see you naked? Why? There's
Why?
no reason.
Can we talk about, by the
that
way?
was never happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was,
And also, it wasn't completely supported by the establishment, the media, like literally everywhere
Right.
you turn around, there's support. There was not at the time that Buck was transitioning.
and
we
nobody.
talk
That's why people. Well, just quick. That's why people like Buck, I think, feel like this is not representative of who I am, or this whole agenda and this ideology that's been pushed. That's not representative.
Well, it's what happens when you use these things as vehicles for an ideology.
Yeah.
That's what Tina just said that I thought was a really good point. Trans without the ideology. That's what we need. Can that be a thing? Just individual people who decide to be trans.
I mean, look at drag as well.
'Cause
Drag has got such a bad name at the moment, but it's because the gender ideology is using it again as a vehicle.
Well, I think too, if we like for people who are actually like paying attention, who are tapped in, we know we're being gaslighted, and when you know you're being gaslighted, like you know something's wrong, and that's I think Chrissie just made the point about the establishment, or someone did. I mean, when we know that people are fighting against like sexualizing kindergartners and first graders and second graders, but then the president or the mainstream media or whatever goes out publicly and they're like, Republicans are trying to stop affirmative care for gender, like, and it's like, no, we're literally trying to stop you from cutting 7-year-old dicks off, and you're completely gaslighting everybody about it.
Yeah.
It's also as well the generation that's buying into this and becoming the useful idiots for perpetuating it. They have no reference point for the before times when it wasn't infected by ideology. So they believe that this is the norm for stuff. They believe that drag is meant to be explicit and meant to be there for kids to go to. You know, they believe that all of this other stuff, and it's like, no, that's because if you've got no reference point to see what it was like before it was hijacked, then you can't identify what's gone wrong with it.
Right.
Giorgio, then they say, why are you obsessed with children's genitals? Ugh. That's step 3 of their gaslighting process. It's that's not happening. If it is, it's a good thing. Why do you care?
Yeah.
I love Brandon, by the way, over here with like every little follicle.
You do look very nice today, Brandon.
Yeah.
No one was saying anything, so I just thought I'd keep.
It's very
preening.
Draper. I like it.
You have to see this thing from the Netherlands, though. Like they had these little, and it's on a stage. It's on a stage. They bring out these little kids on the stage, and then they lift up the curtain behind them, and it's all naked transes with the scars and the chops and the.
The other thing is that they describe it as such. Like this is the part that really bothered me. It was a woman who had a double mastectomy who was talking about, you know, once I got my top surgery, I felt euphoric. And this little girl's like, you know, no, I don't know what that means. And she says, it's like the most amazing feeling of happiness. And the girl says, like you're flying? And she says, yes. And then the girl's like, I want that too. And it's like, why are you putting this in children's heads? It was never, this used to be something less than 1% of the population had to grapple with. And now you're telling all kids, like, hey, this might be you. Like, it's just not, I don't know.
Excellent.
Because it attracts the type of person who doesn't have power. It's immediate power, immediate authority. Immediately, everyone around you is wrong. It's like a get out of responsibility free card. You can turn the tables on everyone in your life, and that appeals to like truly weak-willed, like honestly the shittiest people. I'm not talking about all trans people. I'm talking about the type of person that's going to grandstand and be like, yeah, I want to be naked in front of kids and try to be like a role model to them by being naked in front of them. Like the type of person who does that is like, this has given them a way to feel powerful and important in their lives without having to be an expert on anything, without having to go to school, without having to learn anything. Just chop off a body part and you can have instant authority.
Yes.
That is 100%. And I think that goes across the spectrum of any, you know, we can argue about, you know, and get into the weeds about communities that were allegedly historically downtrodden and, you know, marginalized and whatever, right? But the fact is that when you give someone that was an outcast for whatever reason this sudden platform of power, they will seek retribution in any way to exert that. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing people that traditionally, through societal mechanisms, wouldn't have the loudest voice in the room, suddenly get the loudest voice in the room, and they are out for blood.
So
the gays and the transes, the alphabet people, they are like the fat girl in school who they go away for summer break and she gets hot and she gets thin and loses weight and then becomes the biggest bitch in that school.
When did they become hot though?
Never. It's metaphorical.
For that.
And then when you compound that with the fact that it's now taught that the kind of act of aggression doesn't have to happen directly to you. It's, you know, generational aggression and stuff like that. It can be retribution by proxy, right? So you're seeking vengeance for, you know, the people in the past. It's not necessarily something that's happened to you, and that's why you end up with this militant movement of people that are just bloodthirsty.
I think there's a great point from Cody. I genuinely think people are more upset about the Q than the T. I think the Q is the poison that injects everything that comes before and after it.
Well, the Q is like the critical theory component of it that seeps into every area of life, that wants to change history, that wants to reshape society. It's not just like someone claiming, I just want to exist, just let me live. I want to be able to fall in love, get a job, start a family. It's not that. And they tell you it's that. They'll literally gaslight you. Oh, I just want to exist. No, you want to completely reshape society.
And yet no one to this day can define what it is. I've still never met one single person who can define what queer means. Not one.
Well, it used to be a slur, right? It was like, I won't use it for that very reason. It's like, feels weird.
It used to mean a gay man, and it was a slur. And now it's like used by like 17-year-old girls who are like, I'm queer. And it's like, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not les, but I'm not les. And I'm not trans, but I'm also not cis.
I'm just not like the other girls. I'm
But that's the thing. It's like
what was that Vice panel that he said? I'm beyond.
Oh, that was the LGBT Vice panel. It was what was his name? Remember we had to stop the panel because Blair.
Jamie.
I
used to know him
Jamie's not
when I was a liberal, and now he's one of the non-binaries.
Oh wow!
And they had to stop the panel. Jamie, are you okay?
Yeah, a transgender person, surprise, told another person who's not transgender that they're not trans. And we literally had to shut down the panel. And, and the host was like, Jamie, how are you doing? And Jamie was like, I'm fine.
Let's bring in the trans shaman to make everything all better.
Tracy said.
Cutranon, sorry.
No one would care if Mrs. Doubtfire was read to the kids, but that's not what's happening, as much as they try to make it seem that way. Yes, it is, as I've said.
Everyone loves Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello! Everyone loves that. Hello!
Or what about the birdcage? Everyone loves the birdcage.
Oh, yeah. Although now they go after Spartacus. What's his name?
Spartacus.
The guy that played Apu. He plays...
Oh, in The Simpsons?
Yeah, in the birdcage, he's the very flamboyant
character.
Agata Spartacus or something, I can't remember. So I heard that the woke have a problem with him now because they say he's a gay stereotype, and also because Hank Azaria is not actually gay and shouldn't have been chosen to play that role.
You should have gotten an Oscar for that.
Prove it. You gotta suck a dick right here and now.
They're also coming after Friends now, too.
Oh, it's so stupid.
I can't stand these people who they're like, oh, you're not allowed to say things. No, you choose not to. You put it on all of us that we have to carry your weight. And like, who the fuck are we?
Or do you just step back from it all and be like, look, there has been an industry, a whole subsect of media created to literally gaslight normal people that didn't exist a few years ago. So I think I'm at a place where I'm like, this isn't real. Like Brandon was saying, I'm being gaslit. This is a 22-year-old sitting at a computer who's trying to make $50 or whatever it is for an article. Oh, I get this is trending, right? There's a lot of articles about fucking trans hate and shit. Let me pull something out of my ass to submit. And that's what trends. So it's supply, demand. There's just more of that because it's inflammatory. It's like Inquirer level gaslighting bullshit. It doesn't represent real people, real lives. It's like, and I feel like anything that is, you can start to tell like, oh, this looks like something that is intended to make me mad.
Yes.
Like, why am I? And then you go, is this like really directly affecting my day to day? Like, right. I don't have kids yet, so it's like, but I am okay. I do keep track of the whole, like, with the school board thing, they were calling them domestic terrorists. It's like, okay, I'm very concerned about, like, okay, what books are proven to be in libraries and the parents that are active in getting those certain books out, or just being aware of what's going on. But sometimes you do have to take a step back and be like, oh, it looks like they're intentionally trying to trigger me.
Yes.
So that, you know, at worst, you do something real stupid, but at sort of best case scenario, you waste a whole day being distracted and angry.
Yeah.
And you're not designed to be able to take in all of. I mean, what you know, my whole thing is that you focus on the things that you can directly control in the day to day, and by virtue of being online, you're bombarded with so much stuff, and you've just got to sit there and go, actually, what directly impacts me in this moment, and what can I do to actually do so? And it's like you say, like all of that stuff. You just sit there and you either just get angry or you just become desensitized to it, and both are equally as bad.
But if we're talking about like the role that minorities like are supposed to fill now in as being characters in movies and TV shows, I mean, they have really set it up so that it's almost like the job of every minority character to just be annoying and pedantic and teach everyone and make everyone learn and have a teachable moment and all this shit. Well, who would want that? Who the hell wants that? Like, if I can sit down and watch 6 white people just be funny on Friends, or then I have to bring in the fucking trans guy and the gay guy and the annoying lesbian and the Asian woman and the, like, to teach me all the fuck off. I don't want to learn all this.
It sounds like this show's called Minority Burnout. Wasn't that yours?
Yeah.
But
did you ever see that movie Bros?
Let's watch it together.
Yeah.
Did you end up seeing that movie Bros?
Yes. It was literally softcore porn. There were at least 2 orgy scenes. Yeah, it was a lot. And I just was like, they did not promote this movie accurately. You know, they're like, oh yeah, you're a bad ally, you're a bad straight person if you don't go see this. So I did go see it, and I was like, y'all didn't tell me there would be Billy Eichner's fucking thrusting beehole, you know, on camera. Like I just like I understand. Like, I have had gay friends for many years. Like, we don't need to see head pushing. We don't need to see, you know, lady in the tram. Like we don't need to see 3 ways. Like we get it. I mean, like, some people are like, yeah, sure, that's fine. But this was made for like a niche LA, New York crowd at, say, like a smaller theater. Like, this was not meant for, I think, a national release.
Didn't you see it in?
Which is my other favorite porn.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't your theater empty?
Yes. Oh yeah, and I posted a video about it being empty, which triggered a lot of people. Oh, you went on a Thursday.
Chrissie, is the quad still around?
The cod?
The quad.
The cod?
The quad.
Quad theater.
Oh, the quad.
Oh,
I love the quad.
Wow.
I think so.
I saw it in Westchester.
I'd be very surprised if it survived COVID. I mean, it wasn't exactly like the most well-attended theater in the first place. What's the other one? Angelica?
Yeah, I just went there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
independent films and stuff too, right? Angelica?
Yeah, they closed down my favorite one. Did you ever go to the Lincoln Plaza Cinema?
No.
That was the best one.
Like they had the IMAX?
No, that's Lincoln Square. I grew up. That was my movie theater.
Okay.
Oh.
I love that movie theater. No, but what I was gonna say, I finally watched Bros, and I just put together a compilation of every time they say gay, queer, LGBTQ plus blah blah trans. It was 3 minutes long.
Oh wow.
Gay is a 3-letter word. Trans. These are very short words.
That's
3 minutes long.
That's to your point, Brennan, about how it's like now when they have any character who's quote unquote marginalized or from a marginalized community, they have to talk about it, make it a big deal. I mean, even in the new Batman, which I really enjoyed, but there was that one line from Catwoman who had to go say something about, oh, it's just a bunch of straight white men, and I'm like, oh, shut up, Catwoman. Yeah. This was great until you did that. Like, we don't need you to preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. Somebody was talking about this on your show last night, Keri, that so Chris Pratt got some backlash because he's voicing Super Mario, and they asked him about it, and he was like, I totally understand. People don't want to think that there's like a cash grab, and like we're very respectful. I was like, whoa, you never hear that. It's usually just like, you know, screw the people who give us money.
I think there's like there's like two groups that I call them. Like you've got the ideological mercenaries, which are like the people that are brought in to sort of under the guise of like being one group, but they're there just to agitate. And then you've got like the ideological missionaries that are there to basically be that token minority, but they're there to kind of promote, like, you know, traveling salesmen. And yeah, it's just crazy because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and then you start to get you see it everywhere, and you realize that they can't be themselves, and you can't watch something without knowing that it's a quadriplegic black trans woman.
Operator.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of like the point Chrissie was making earlier about how, like, look, just because you're like in a wheelchair or you're trans doesn't suddenly make you like a genius about like that suddenly you have this like worldview or this perspective that it's time for the rest of us to be quiet and just listen to your experience.
Yeah.
You're the only one who's had hardship in your life. Like regular, straight, normal, boring people have problems too. And we don't need to be like doing better all the time. Like we're just trying to like get through the day, be good to our people, feed our families and shit. It's insufferable.
Well, the funny thing too is like with a lot of these minority people, if you actually push them on it, like they'll kind of like fall apart. You know, people are like, you could never understand what it feels like, you know, and I'm like, well, okay, what? Tell us right now. And they're like, no, you could never understand. I'm like, no, I'm very bright. Try me. Like, lay it out. What's it like? Tell us what it's like.
Or they can't give examples of themselves. It's examples of like the community that's been slighted.
Right. Or whatever CNN told them about their own community that they're
exactly. It's not like I went to Walgreens and someone, you know, juiced up my wheelchair or something. I went into the dairy aisle face first. Like there's nothing of that. You know, it's like,
are you just referencing like a video of fails from YouTube? Like just
no, I'm just going for a very personal traumatic experience that I had once, and drawing from personal experience.
I just need to understand: is it your belief that the disabled community is stuck, like when they go to the grocery store, people are juicing up their wheelchairs and
constantly greasing it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where you live, Brandon, but in my neck of the woods, it's...
I take it all back. You do need to listen to the experiences of this.
Oh, that's where I'm falling short. Okay.
Shout out to the most awesome chick who follows, I think, a bunch of us. Marissa, her handle is Push Past Paralysis. She's in a wheelchair and will make the most offensive jokes about herself that are, I love her so much. She's like, come visit, we'll have the roller derby.
Aww.
Yeah, but has anyone ever juiced up her wheelchair in Walgreens? You know, if not, she's not worth listening to. Unless she's had that experience, then I'm sorry, you know.
I wanted to bring up a couple comments. This one, though, I had to. Cody, it's kind of autistic the way woke people feel the need to explain every type of sexual position in detail to everyone. Why?
I've always wanted to do I want to do a woke rewrite of the Kuma Sutra.
Kama Sutra.
Would you call it?
Yeah. I think
I
think it would be great. And actually, we could name a position ideological missionary. I think.
I think you've come up with our next grift.
Woke screen, watch out! I tell you, it's going to be beautiful.
But yeah, Chrissie, you are our sexpert. So what are the woke sexperts?
Hey, what did Chrissie
you want to collaborate?
Yeah, this is a rant I've done recently.
Wet spot.
Okay, here's where I'm at with this. And I've ranted on this recently. A group of people that completely irritate me are, and maybe this is just like as you get older, you find these people more insufferable, but people who their literal whole fucking personality is their kink, or how much they have sex, or how with the interesting, cool, life-changing sex they're always having. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like, why do you have to be constantly broadcasting your kink, wearing your kink clothes. It's like, keep it to yourself. Like, just because you're really into sex, like, that's not a whole personality. Like, you got to do a little. I just find that so tiresome. And it's like, yeah, it's meant to be kept between you and whoever you're having sex with. Like that. I find it so boring, the people that are just like broadcasting.
It is
how kinky and interesting they are.
And it's counterintuitive. Isn't the whole point of kink that it's subculture?
Yes.
Nothing is subculture anymore.
No, this is why I think the weirdest subculture I've ever joined, the most out there subculture, is the Christian subculture, because that's really underground now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, kink is like normal, but like go to like a Christian Bible study. I'm like, that's really real.
Yeah, like poetry beater. Oh, sex positive. Like, you're not interesting because you have HPV. That doesn't make you better than anyone else.
Like, everybody's doing kink now, but it's, you know, everything's flipped upside down. No, I will say one thing on both your points, Brendan and Chrissy, is that I think that I saw that a lot in LA, and I actually kind of, you know, I was kind of moving into that place for a little bit, I'll be honest. And I think it's, for me anyway, that place of like where people are sort of like, you know, all about like sex and sex. And yes, that I had an old life before I know. And so
I was in that, Keri, I was in that group too. I was one of those people.
Okay, and so I think for a lot of women in your 30s, and if you're working in the entertainment industry, you have a social circle that's pushing you this way, and you know, and I was working with comedians who did a lot with the different sex toy companies and stuff. Whatever. The point is, I think people make it their identity the same way they make a lot of the social justice stuff their identity. It becomes the thing they worship. It's like someone who gets really into Harry Potter, and that's like their whole existence, except they're doing it with sex. And I agree. Like, I think it's just boring.
I want to be like, honey, you're gonna wake up at 35 and be like, oh shit, I wasn't sex positive. I was just mad at my dad this whole time.
Or I was looking for some kind of freedom that it doesn't actually give you. Like, at the end of the day, it's just like, I mean, you could be a glutton for anything, like wine.
Right.
I was a glutton for wine also, or sex,
it's like being
whatever.
A wino or being an alcoholic, or someone who smokes fucking weed every day. That's not a personality.
Yeah.
I wish I was just a degenerate whore. It would be so much. People think I am, and I like that. People think that gives me edge. But it would be so much easier with gay people, because it's like that's all they care about. That's what their lives are completely defined by, so many of them. And I've had my slutty phases and tried to get to that place where I only care about that, but it's never even all that great if you're not into the person, and I don't know.
It looks fun on paper.
Yeah.
There's also like people who even still think that if they talk like that or project that it's like edgy, or that they're being really controversial, and like look how shocking and outrageous I am. And so it's like, okay, Sex and the City was literally 35 years ago.
You know what else too? I am a big believer
but I'm totally Samantha, even if I was.
Well, I'm sorry, but I need a big dick.
Oh, I came twice in the cab.
I can't breathe.
I found a gray pube. Now I'm slipping into my Ann Coulter accent. Oh God! Look it out!
Oh my God! Using my vibrator.
Yeah, my vibrator.
It is so. It's sort of kind of like old, the way Will and Grace is old, but some people still react that way. Like some straight women with gay men, where it's sort of like you're stuck in this different time period where none of this is new and edgy anymore. And I don't know.
Like, these are my gays. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic like really took away the glamour of meaningless sex. I think something about being locked away for years made people go, oh shit, like actually all the meaningless sex in the world doesn't mean shit if like someone's not willing to be kind of like locked away with you for months on end.
Instead it just became a meaningless existence. That was
a government mandated meaningless existence.
Yeah.
No, you know what I was going to say, though? I am a big believer in a mind is like a wound, and if it is too open, you get an infection. And I think
a mind is like a pussy. No.
Mine was like my legs, always open.
Keep it open.
No, you can. Yeah, it's weird that with certain types of people, especially the woke, but even people who aren't, you can never say that anything is weird. Any of their kinks are weird. Like certain shit, I don't. And I'm not saying, you know, if you're not hurting anyone, God bless you, do you. But people react really negatively if I ever just say, I don't get the appeal. I don't get the appeal of people who put on dog costumes and like.
But isn't that the point of them?
What?
I think it comes from like you're begging from some type of validation, acceptance, love, confidence from others, that if you give it to yourself, you don't need anybody to like you. You don't need anybody to validate you or think you're cool or be your friend. Like if you think that you're great, you don't need any of that. And I think a lot of these folks that go into like, well, I'm sex positive, I'm part of like the fucking leather daddy, like leather puppies or whatever, like they associate more with a group because they are searching for that validation in others instead of getting it from themselves or like their close relationships.
That's why I say it's like worshiping sex, because it becomes like the religion. They're like, these are my fellow worshipers, you know, we're all wearing the doggy leather and this is what we do on the weekends, like that guy, that
Don't
Biden
tell
appointee.
about the meeting, Keri.
Sam Brenton.
Yeah.
Just watch your luggage around him.
But the like leather, you know, like bondage kink. I mean, I don't know to what degree that exists in the straight world, but in the gay world, at least for the longest time, that was definitely like the predominant kink. I mean, I think it still probably is the predominant kink. And I like, why do you suppose that is? Anybody that like might be like, why? Because I always thought like, and I'm not like judging. I don't care. I truly don't care. I just like, I think it's silly. Like it truly, like it makes me laugh. Like when I see these guys with their harnesses and like, you know, they're like super tight leather pants and stuff. Like, and I'm just like, this is like, that makes me want to laugh. There's nothing sexy.
Same.
It's like a push-up bra. It makes you look like you got more going on. You know, it's like any kind of accessory. It's like, ooh, that's interesting.
But what is the kink? Like,
I think it's that they're insecure and maybe they hate themselves, so it's like beat the shit out of me.
I think
Like,
maybe it's like they feel a lot of control. Maybe they feel like they in their walking around life, public life, they are in control. They control their public persona. They control that. Maybe they're high powered at their job or the boss, and sometimes someone in that position likes to feel the opposite in bed, so they want to feel like they have no control. They want to feel humiliated. They want to get pissed on, hot Carl, whatever, because it's like the opposite. They want to have like complete no control, have someone else be in control for once. And it's a lot of times your kink is like the opposite of your regular life.
But why the harness?
I think a lot of that was from Tom of Finland.
Feeling like, I think the harness is like feeling like an object or an animal or something, like something lower and dumber.
I was just
you want to hear something really horrible?
Tom of Finland. So he was this artist who he did all this erotic, like leather daddy art, I think in the 60s or 70s. And I was just looking up to see, because I always assumed that he was doing that art after it was already a thing and like sort of documenting the leather daddy, but maybe he helped to bring it about because his artwork was like really popular in the gay community before we were born. But
interesting.
Anyway, I'm looking him up. But if you saw his stuff, you would probably recognize it. And it's all like the harnesses, the nipple rings, like way back then.
Yeah.
What about the guys who get their dicks pierced?
Oh.
I don't get the appeal.
What about it? Dude, my brain just left.
Yes, what about them?
I mean,
F's in the chat if you have your dick pierced.
I have to mention, we have a furry amongst us. Our beloved friend, Giorgio Quattrocento, is apparently a furry. No, you do you, we love you. Can you explain? I don't get the appeal. It's creepy.
You get to hide your real
I love you.
things. You get to like hide your real identity, be a different person, get away with stuff. It's like for the same reason why people are like do VTubing or have a avatar on their Twitter. It's like they want to be able to get away with doing and saying things that they couldn't with their face out.
I don't know,
Well,
or is it like some
role play and maybe even like, you know, costumes and stuff? Like, I get that. I just don't. To me, like the nipple rings, the harnesses, stuff. It just, to me, it's silly. Like very.
Oh,
silly.
I've got the worst one for you. I wonder if you'll remember who I'm talking about. This is the most horrible thing. It's always those like uptight, preppy types. But this guy that I was like, we were talking about this last year. We went on a couple dates and nothing was happening. And then afterwards, I saw his Grindr profile. I didn't know what this was at the time. I had to Google it. Looking for a chastity slave. Does anyone know what that is? They keep their dick in a cage, and there were illustrations. The cage is about this big and crushes your and the other person, and they have terms for it. They're like, you're like the what's it, the key master or something, and the other person holds the key.
That's Ghostbusters.
That's according to the article.
Is it like foot binding 2.0?
I don't get that shit.
Just watching Ghostbusters.
No, but I realized that's probably why nothing was happening, because I think I maybe give off the vibe that shit would just never fucking fly with me. Ah.
Well, on the first date, you always have to ask if someone prefers their genitals in a cage. I mean, that's always.
I think
What
it's
is
better
the
off
main
you got a spare
course
set
is.
of keys.
You got it, yeah.
What is the appeal of that? Well, we have another for you too.
Just to get to your main point about kink, I just think it's become so mainstream now that it doesn't, that it's just not. It's not like Chrissie was saying. It's not kink anymore because it's out of the closet, it's out of the bedroom, and it's like in public. Like, this is who I am, and this is what I'm into, and I don't know. At that point,
I think a lot of it as well is kind of like running cover for people's potential trauma and stuff like that, and allowing them to sort of deal with stuff in a now socially acceptable way. And you know, I don't know about the leather stuff. I'm guessing if you're tracing it back to kind of like the 50s and that, then I'm guessing that's like maybe the idea of absolute masculinity. Or on the other hand, the person could have been diddled by a Hell's Agent when they were a child. I don't know. I mean, it could come from anywhere. But, you know, I think a lot of it, is maybe has its roots in something that they're in the formative years. But if it's out there, then it's not taboo or kink anymore.
I think that's a good point. What's that?
I have a meeting right now with my developers.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got it. I love you so much.
Okay. Everyone join WalkAway Social.
I was just going to say that. Everyone go to walkawaysocial.com. Jarjo, you have to put your video up. I saw your message. Everybody go make a WalkAway video on WalkAway Social. Mine is coming. I love you so much, Brandon.
I love you too. Thanks for having me. All of you guys.
Bye, Brandon.
Take care.
And we definitely want you to join WalkAway Social, but we have like a really, really exciting contest announcement coming. Like really, really, really. So
you guys ain't ready. You are not ready.
All right, bye guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Love you.
Take care.
Yeah, I think what Kevin said is a really good point. One of the biggest problems is that there are no guardrails, no bound. Like Keri and I were talking about this today, that I feel like there's too much. It's just too much. It's too much porn, too much hookups, too many apps, and so they have to keep finding the next thing, and it has to keep getting fucking weirder.
That's
like tranny chasers.
Progressivism. Tranny chasers.
What is with tranny chasers? Can we talk about tranny chasers?
Yeah, but I'll be right back. Not because of the topic. I just have to take.
She's going to go and chase a tranny.
She's going to go chase a tranny. Vic's getting away.
You don't have like a toilet in your chair?
She's going to run with a baton, you know.
No, because I mean, like, if you look at, like, when I was on Tinder, any of those, like, half the dudes on there are like, I only want trans.
I think that's half the problem, though, right? Being on those apps, you know, I'm not judging. I wouldn't be caught dead on them because I couldn't do it. But the thing is I think as well that whole barrier of what is socially acceptable is also removed as well, because again, you can be anything you want to be online.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like going to a bar and It's not like going to a bar and saying, hey, oh, you look nice. You want a drink? Yeah, I'll buy you a drink. By the way, do you want to lock my cock in a cage? It's like small talk like that ain't going to get you very far. Well, I don't know. I don't know what bars you frequent, but I can't imagine.
Have you ever had any people with dicks in cages on the wet spot?
No. We've had like submissives. We had a girl bring in a submissive, like he was wrapped in saran wrap, and then they wanted me to step on his balls, but I couldn't. I was like, there's babies in there. I'm like, I can't do that. And so then this
they
girl,
wrap babies in saran wrap as well.
She was just like poking on it with the back of a high heel, just poking at the ball sack. I was like, I was just like, doesn't that hurt? But then it was like a slave character guy, a white guy, just a submissive.
I feel like they're always white guys
into it. Yeah.
I don't think it would have been a black more submissive guy.
Right.
They're like, we've been through slavery.
It would have been a lot more fun if they were wrapped in bubble wrap. That could have been a bit fun for both parties.
Right. Yeah, then pop them. That would be fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't get sorry, Keri.
Just roll them.
I feel like
I think the progressives want another J6. I think they really do. They're doing everything to piss off Christians, right wingers, Second Amendment people.
We did say earlier with Brandon we need to unify. So maybe
I gotta show you. Keri sent me this. I hadn't seen this. Oh my god.
Which one? Oh yeah. Well, when you were talking about queer, so I saw this was in I think this one was in not Idaho. What state is this? Oh, it's in Indy. Yeah, Indiana. So they had this walkout where they were protesting a bill there, and they basically obviously got the kids involved, because what 7 to 10-year-olds are going to think of doing this thing on their own? And they walked out of school and they wore that you can see on the screen, these rainbow capes and stuff, and they were chanting, "We're here, we're queer." It's like, you're 7.
We're here. We're confused. We want a snack. Get used to it. When's lunch?
And it's weird with these people with the die-ins and all that. It's like they're talking about their rights and stuff. And I'm like, when you're talking about rights, the rights you're talking about are to like cut their genitals out, to give like double mastectomies to 12-year-olds and give puberty blockers and hormones to these kids. Those are your rights.
Yeah. And then look at this quote: "We are trying to protest to make sure that kids have rights and won't be stopped from expressing their whole self," one student said. What 7-year-old says that?
Rights or no rights? Like, you're at school. You're not supposed to be expressing your whole fucking self at school. I'm sorry. Like, you're supposed to be learning. You're not supposed to be like, God, I really want to wear this unicorn costume every day because that would be me expressing my whole self. But we have this dumb school uniform, so I feel like I don't have rights. And what kid doesn't like to play dress up? What kid doesn't like rainbows and glitter and fucking all that shit? And they're taking the stuff that kids like, and they're like literally just grooming them to be like, oh, hey, all this stuff that's fun. These people are saying you can't do that or be that way. You can't have fun and be yourself. Don't you want to be yourself? Yes. And it's like, ugh, okay, whatever you say. Like, that's kids. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to survive, and they all adjust themselves to best suit whatever the adults around them, will make them most happy. That's what all kids are
trying
doing.
To please the adults. And this is what, if you have a second here, pull this up too, Mikey.
I want to say real quick though, by the way, is it just me, or does it seem like kids these days are never taught any sort of like stranger danger anymore? Because like when I was a kid in school, they used to show the tapes of like from the 80s and Winnie the Pooh singing "Nobody Should Touch You" in the private part. I feel like that's gone. Now it's like
you have to ask people with kids, but I feel like it more comes down to just the parents having that conversation. But like my parents never really had that conversation with me. So
it just seems like there's nobody cares about that anymore. They've replaced it with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Kieran will hopefully hear this what he's about, but I missed a super chat. Cheers to you all, a great group of people and a great stream. Thank you so much, Sia Sophia. I met her through Kieran. She's awesome. We've more. Therese, I love you, Therese. What a great group of guests, Mikey. It was a welcome distraction in my forever busy days. Keep up the great work. So proud of you. Aw, I love you. She's the best. Therese said I have to go catch my runaway kink, so I gotta run. Love you all. Send us all your super chats, by the way. I'm working on my grifting abilities. Sorry, Keri, what were you saying?
Oh, I sent you an article in the private chat. So it's just about it's about that same school, but what I found interesting about it is the picture of the kids. It just makes me sad because they just look like they're modeling people who are much older than them, like teenagers at the very least, but probably young adults. And I see myself in this, but when I was doing this out in the streets, marching with my fists in the air for something, right? I was at least in my early 20s. And these children, again, 7 to 10 years old, what do you have to be out in the street protesting for? Like, this isn't legitimately you. This is something you're doing, like Chrissy said, to please the adults. It just depresses me.
Oh, sorry, this webpage hates me.
You see that?
Don't say, oh my God.
It's just, they're like, yeah, we're out here fighting for our rights.
You know what? Any kid is going to get on board with leaving your classroom to do anything but learning. Oh, you want to put on a cape and get the fuck out of your classroom? Yes, sign me up. What, I have to say I'm gay? Yeah, I'll be an elephant. I'll do whatever it takes because I want to get the fuck out of school. True. What? There's going to be Rice Krispie treats? Just put this rainbow flag on? Yeah, sign me up.
Oh, by the way, parentheses, I have to say hello to our beloved friend, Fealty.
Fealty.
Miss you, dude. I'm trying not to get in white vans. Now it's like the school is sponsoring the vans for them to get into. Mm-hmm. This is so sick. Also, there is no don't say gay.
It's just it's a disgusting photo op, and whatever the adults have completely organized this because they want to look good to a certain group. I don't know if it's with the school to get certain funding or what, or there's an ulterior motive here. They're literally trying to get something from someone. The last thing these people care about are the actual kids, because they wouldn't be forcing them into activism.
They use them for this press piece, you know? And then all the leftists are sharing this piece. Like, look at these kids.
Look how many look how many trans kids there are. Let them be trans.
Yeah.
It's so sick. It's so sick. I'm glad that there's starting to be a real push against it and they're starting to try and outlaw it. But like even here it says anti-LGBTQ legislation that's against transitioning children legislation. So of course,
what does it have to do with being lesbian or gay? It's like that. Maybe they should
teaming.
Yeah,
it's so sick. No, I think, and it's because they know that most people know, but it is such a minuscule number of people who actually care if you're gay. I never encounter it ever. So that's kind of the way that that's just the Trojan horse for this whole ideology. They need to like leech off of the acceptance that gay people have gotten to push all of this cultural revolution bullshit.
What annoys me is like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Give them a big old piggy bank that says top surgery on it. And you're like, you know what? You want to save your allowance. You want to save 10, 20 grand to get this. Well, guess what? No quinceañera, no sweet 16. I can't send you to camp and pay to have your genitals removed. I can't, you can't do gymnastics camp and grow a dick on your arm. You got to choose one. My parents wouldn't even buy me a Skip It. Okay, Skip It's cost $20. The nerve of these kids being, oh, pay for my tits to get cut off. No, you save up your money and then you get yourself an Uber and you take yourself. You want to make this adult ass decision? You better do it all by yourself.
You're gonna have to mow.
I'm gonna be part of it. Yeah,
you're gonna mow a lot of lawns.
Yeah, you can't even mow the lawn. You can't even pick up your socks. You think you're gonna be able to take care of a fake pussy? Are you kidding me? You can't even make yourself a sandwich. You think you're gonna be able to grow a dick on your arm?
Oh, did you guys see Jazz Jennings, the mother?
I've got it just real quick to tag on. Fake dicks don't grow on trees. That's what the moment said.
No, they do not. They are expensive and they don't even take most of the time. So that's a waste. It's a huge waste of money.
That's really funny.
By the way, parentheses, I have to say, hey, Andrew. He has an awesome. He's awesome and has an awesome debate channel, The Crucible. So I debated the craziest trans Looney Tune on there. This chick was talking about how she's oppressed, and finally I was like, okay, tell me about your oppression. Then give me some examples. And I forget what she said. The dumbest shit. It was like. Whoa! I don't know. Turn that on.
Whoa! Hey! Did you go get chips? He has chips there. He's eating chips. Oh,
what kind of chips?
He had
an
to
Amazon
get a package.
Probably.
What was your? Yeah, you never told me what your package is. Ooh, baby. Anyway,
any better?
That's better.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
What I was gonna say though is Andrew and his wife Rachel, who's awesome. You never see shit like this. Trans kids, like they ain't gonna have no trans kids. Keri ain't gonna have no trans kids. We aren't gonna have no. Like it's amazing.
Who has the money?
I mean, as children, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought we were having babies.
Well, we are, darling.
No, that's what you get when a trans person bites you.
Well, if you take some Cutranon, then and apply it to the affected area, then you'll be completely fine.
Chrissie's kids are gonna be sassy.
Do you think I'm gonna get banned from Twitter if I tweet this? Babies, what you get when a trans person bites you.
No, please do.
Does anyone want to find out?
Chat. Tell me, chat. Is this a ban? Is this? I'm not about to get my Twitter banned over a dumb joke. Well, maybe I will.
Then you have to say, "I'm a comedian." I'm kidding.
I'm saying trans. I'm saying babies. These all seem like normal words. I'm not inciting violence.
No.
They were locking everybody's account though for talking about the Great Day of Vengeance.
Should I say a trans or a trans person bites you? What you get? Babies, what you get when a trans bites you, or babies, what you get when a trans person bites you?
Trans person.
Trans person. But I just like a trans.
A trans.
Just get a trans. A trans bit me.
Also, hey, Greg.
Did you see that? There's a trans over there.
Babies over babies.
All right, I'm tweeting it. I'm sending it into the world. Goodbye, Twitter account.
Goodbye. This will be
nice.
We could come
well,
back.
you know what? Release the Woman Manifesto has been doing pretty good.
That's a pretty funny one too.
Release what?
Release the Woman Manifesto. Did they not let me tweet it? No.
Why?
Did it not? Would they? Nope, it went. It's there.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Did you guys didn't see Jazz Jennings' mother?
Oh, I read about this.
Did you see that, Chrissy?
No.
So Jazz Jennings was one of the first media manufactured trans children, and they gave her own reality show and all this, and she was taking hormones from the time she was 6 or 7.
And they called her Jazz because nobody understands it, and if you're being honest, nobody really likes it.
You're on a roll tonight.
No, that angry, the saving up your allowance for surgery is a bit that I think I'm actually working on, because it makes me really angry. I'm literally my parents were like, bitch, you're getting all your hand-me-downs from your brother and your sister, and these kids want fucking brand new genitalia. No. I didn't even get my own sheets.
You had to hear the mother though, that she's like, "Are you dilating your vagina?" And by vagina, they mean corona.
Exactly. You can't even pick up your socks. You can't even pick up your fucking clothes. You're not gonna be able to shove things in your own pig puss. Are you kidding me?
What kind of thing?
They don't remember to take their contacts out at night. You think you're gonna have time to fucking shove things up your fake puss?
It's it's like a lifelong wound that you have.
It is.
And so,
So were they sticking it like a cattle prod?
I imagine some kind of a plug or something.
You'll have to pre-order the woke rewrite of the Akuma Sutra I'm working on to.
The Akuma Sutra.
Akuma Sutra.
Yeah, they have to keep it from healing up. That's why they have to do that.
I agree with Joe. This is why Chrissie rules.
I think I'm just coming down with babies.
Have you been bitten? I'm surprised none of us have.
Yeah, it's like a trip. He's turned into a zombie. I got babies. What's that? Ah, it's a dick. This is your fault. Suck it.
Wait, Kieran, I feel like we never found out what your package was.
And we never will.
Excuse me? Oh, well, here's the thing. So I've been oh god, I'll try and
and then never show us what it is.
Well, it's such an obscure parcel. So long story short, as you know, I'm a photographer. So I bought. I'll rephrase this because I won't be able to leave the country and I'll have a SWAT team around here. I was going to say I smuggled chemicals into the country. I didn't. It's fully legal. So I bought loads of developing chemicals over here to develop film. And so I needed some little tabs to hang the film when I've developed them. And I bought these, so they don't have Amazon here, of course. And so I ordered these little pins that I think are quite funny. But I found this one that works out perfectly for my woke screen branding.
Oh, those, your Nazi pins.
Oh, no, that's a different... So that's hilarious. So this website has like loads of Nazi memorabilia. And so some of them are like World War II commemorative badges. Some of them you can get, which I thought was quite cool, the second part, because they actually have real 10 Reichsmark with Hitler's face on it. So I thought from a historical perspective, I thought having one of those coins from that era was quite cool. But then I started digging. And I'm seeing all these like Asian models with like, going like that and everything with these like death skulls and everything. And I'm thinking, wow, I've really found quite the website here. So I didn't order any of those, of course.
Screen. We all are. Alan asked if this is live. It is. There could be like, nipple flips at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chrissie Mayr's boobs are awaiting.
We're going to be at least a $10 super chat for a nip. You guys have to do a little better.
That's mine. I don't want to keep you guys all night, so if anybody has any final super chats to support my grifting, send them our way. This is amazing. This is so much fun. Chrissie, I'm so honored to have you here for the first time.
Let's be honest, it really picked up after Brandon left.
Wait, we need a moment of self-promotion. Chrissie, you start. Tell us all about your everything.
Thank you. Let's see. Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on compoundmedia.com. I have the Wet Spot, the show that we mentioned. It has comedians, porn stars. It's very sassy. It's very scandalous. And then sometimes it's not. Sometimes we're just talking and telling slightly racist jokes. And then Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, I have Simpcast on my YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, all the channels with a variety of panelists every Sunday. And then I got a bunch of stand-up shows coming up. Go to ChrissieMayr.com for tickets. I will be in Staten Island next Friday, Jersey next Saturday, Vegas April 27th, Dallas, Texas, May 5th and 6th, Richmond, Virginia in August. I'll be at Anime Matsuri August 10th, and then the Secret Group in Houston August 11th. So if you know you're going to be at, like, say, the Geeks and Gamers meetup on the 26th of April, come to the Vegas show on the 27th. Or if you know you're going to be at Anime Matsuri, come to the show in Houston on the 11th of August. Otherwise, just check out my channel. I try to do, like, 3-4 new interviews every week. I try to do a morning show most mornings when I can. I'm trying to get more disciplined and regular with that. And thanks for having me, Mike. This was super fun. I'm a big fan of all you guys. This was great.
Oh, I love you. And her YouTube channel and Twitter and stuff is below, as are everyone's. Oh, also, you guys have to check out her album live from January 6th because it is amazing.
Yes. It was the #1 album on iTunes, according to this plaque.
Yeah. I love you guys. I'm so excited for, we've all met plenty of there's so many shitty people who do this sort of thing. And I feel like we know so many awesome, amazing people that I want to do more squad streams and bring everyone together. So Keri,
I want to be like the pink Power Ranger of the squad stream. The one that everyone wants to fuck.
So hot. They would have had to
I don't know who they were.
to be with her. I was in love with her. So Keri, your moment of self-promotion. Tell us your everything.
Last night I had my, we celebrated 1 year of my deprogram channel, which was a lot of fun. Thank you, Chrissy, for the super chat. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. And then we just released our first comedy sketch this past month called Woke Therapy. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. We had so much fun making it, and we want to do more just silly stuff like that, having fun. And then April 15th, if you're in the Austin, Texas area, I'm going to be hosting Minds Fest. You can get tickets at minds.com, and there's a whole lineup of great speakers, comedians, and musicians. It's a day of panels, comedy, and music. So if you're in Texas, come say hi.
I wish Eliza Blue was still going to be there. I would go.
I have a joke. I'm trying. Chrissy said that she would generously
save it. No, save it for the event. Don't blow it out.
No, I'm just saying generously because I'm not a comedian, but I'm hosting this thing, so I'm going to try and write some
practice
stuff, and then I'll have you look at it and tell me if the stuff I write is funny or not.
We'll do a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we've got the 3 hosts here because I hosted, then Chrissy hosted, now Keri's hosting.
Oh snap! I got proposed to after my Minds event, so.
No, and we were there.
Yeah.
Well, not there.
Yes. Oh my God, y'all! Actually, you two were the first people that I told that I was engaged. Like literally the first people.
It was pretty amazing. I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy too. Aw. Kieran, tell us your everything. Self-promote.
All right, okay, very quickly. So I've got Woke Screen launching soon. That is going to be the idea that I want to individualize the countercultural revolution, and I want to empower artists. I don't care who you are, what you do, but it's, everyone has some way of fighting back, and I think the creatives are going to be the ones that save us in all of this, pushing back and reclaiming the cultural landscape. So we have that. We have the Woke Screen store, which allows you, if you create but don't want to, do the whole thing of making your e-commerce store and everything, you can do it through Woke Screen and leverage that promotional channels and everything. And there's options for you to take 100% of your revenue or do a split and, whatever, meet you where you're at with that. And then on April 12th, I am doing my first live stream under the banner of the culture. That's another one. The Crowdsource podcast, which again is kind of just crowdsourcing the news. I want to know what's going on in your area, whether it's national or whether it's international, whether you're out in the boonies. I don't care. But so come and join us on the 12th of April on that on Rumble. Now that I've got my channel back after they deleted it and deleted everything I had on there. That there wasn't much on there, but still they deleted it, but it's back. So yeah, 12th of April, come join us for that. Please either join my locals, which is kieranwhite.locals.com, which an annual membership gets you access to the whole Woke Screen ecosystem, or every Friday at 9:30 a.m. On my Substack, which is wokescreen.substack.com. New article, and join us over there for an annual subscription, and you can have a voice in what news you want covered and stuff like that. So yeah, come and join us.
Woo! I love you guys so much. Okay, I'll be very quick with mine. I've started a Substack. I didn't know that Substack was awesome. Nobody told me this. I'm trying to bring it up here, but I'm not very good at the tech stuff. So I am going to, here it is, yay! So I put out my first essay on my Substack. My next one is coming out tomorrow. It's top 10 ways to survive a leftist mob, or woke mob. I'm a little sick. I feel like the term woke is starting to irk me, even though I guess it's accurate. So anyway, my stuff is below. Subscribe to my Substack if you like it. Subscribe. Are there different words for subscribe? Like being a paid subscriber. There's like monthly or year. Join my locals. Subscribe to the channel. All the stuff is below. Subscribe, and there will be another squad stream soon. And tell us who else you want to see on the squad stream. Peter Feliciano, definitely on the next one.
You got to get the shaman.
Yes. Oh my god, that's what needs to be. Okay, so if you guys have made it this far into the stream, if anyone is still watching, send us #shamam. I feel like that sort of encapsulates everything. I love you guys so much. Chrissie, Keri, Kieran, Brandon out there, you two. This was amazing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.